Hello, hello. Okay. I have an unhappy announcement to make this morning. Sharon Whitehill, very well known, a longtime member, very dedicated, and a very gifted person, passed away yesterday at noon. I would suggest that we take a moment and of silence in honor of her service to this fellowship while I place a stone in the water. All right, thank you. This morning, the first hymn will be introduced by Margaret.
Good morning. Our opening song is in your book number 291. It's Die Gedanken sind frei. It's German, Die Gedanken sind frei. I'm going to give you a little bit of a history on that so you know why I chose that song. This goes back to the 16th century. It means my thoughts are free. It was the rallying cry and protest song of the 16th century German peasant wars. It was later a protest song against political repression and censorship, especially among banned student fraternities. In the aftermath of the failed 1848 German Revolution, the song was banned. It was later an important song with the anti-Nazi resistance movement in Germany. In 1942, a member of the White Rose resistance group played the song outside the walls of a prison where her father had been detained for calling Adolf Hitler a scourge of God. It was later recorded by Pete Seeger in the 1950s and in 1966. 291, Die Gedanken sind frei.
Very good. Good morning. Welcome to this Sunday service at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Charlotte County, also known as UUFCC. My name is Ted, and I am this morning's worship associate. This service is broadcast live on YouTube and is recorded for later viewing. First, we wish to express our gratitude to all those who are making this service possible, especially today on the first Sunday when we have potluck lunch. So anyway, our technology team, Tom, Corey, and Doug, our pianist, good grief, Margaret. Oh, well, my memory isn't that hot. It's written right down here, too. The members of our choir, the welcoming greeters at the door, our snack preparers, decorators, look at what we have on the wall, housekeepers, groundkeepers, and, of course, the members and friends and supporters. It is our practice to use first names only to protect everybody's privacy. Whatever your faith, your country of origin or heritage, whoever you are, whomever you love, you are welcome here. We are glad you chose this congregation as your place of worship today. We open our hearts to accept all people of whatever diversity. For those hurting, we try to comfort your pain. If you seek social justice, you will find workers here. If you are looking for freedom of religion, you are welcome here. If you are lonely, you will meet friends here. We believe in the religion of love and inclusion. It's good that we gather here today. If you are new here or would like to learn more about our fellowship, you can speak with our greeters, mail Anna at UUFCC.org, our administrator, or visit our website. Is there anyone here today who is new or has returned after a long absence? If so, please raise your hand and Doug will come to you with a microphone and you can tell us your name and maybe a little bit about yourself. Is there anybody here for the first time? Okay, anybody returning after a long absence? All right, I guess not. Okay, thank you. We will now have our prelude, which is Go Down, Moses by Margaret. Very nice, very nice. We will now have our chalice lighting. As Arlene comes forward to light the chalice, those who are at home may choose to light their own candle or chalice. Please repeat with me the words of our affirmation, which is in your order of service. Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service is its law. This is our aspiration, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love, and to help one another. Now we will sing hymn in the gray hymnal 300 with heart and mind. Please rise in body or spirit as you are able. A search on the internet for definitions of the word freedom and a list of the various kinds of freedom throughout history and around the world leaves one with a multitude of terms, examples, and learned discussions relative to the individual, the family, the community, social organizations, professional unions, corporations, religions, and governments, nation states, international alliances, and more. One may ask, how are freedom and rights related? The meaning of freedom is like a mirror of the human community using the word. The author of this opening words is William Gardner. We have a tradition of sharing our joys, sorrows, and milestones by entering them into our book of life. As Sandy brings up the book of life, thank you. It is with deep sadness that I am informing our community, this is from Dennis Shaw, that Sharon Whitehill died yesterday at noon. Her daughters, Leslie and Dawn, were by her side. A celebration of Sharon's precious life will be held in January as her snowbird friends can attend. I will always be grateful for her significant contributions to this fellowship and the special friendships we shared. In faith, Dennis Shaw. I wish peace and comfort to all those whose life Sharon touched. Although we only knew each other for a couple of years, her insights, humor, and shared coffee at Mercer's will stay in my heart. Shelley. Debbie C. wishes to inform the dear UUFCC friends that she is settled and comfortable in California. She sends hugs, greetings, and love to all. This is signed by Carolyn K. And Sharon W. Whitehill. Our angel, teacher, friend is one of the best humans I have ever known. How fortunate we were to have her among us. Carolyn K. In the spirit of respectful witness, those who are present are invited to come forward, share a few words of joy or sorrow, and drop a stone into the bowl of water. You may also do so silently. So please come forward at this time now.
I am, oops. Hello. There I am. I just want to share what many of us feel and think. I'd like to share such gratitude for Dennis and all that he's done for all of us and being with Sharon throughout this process. And with many of us, Dennis does the behind the work, not just in the gardens, but in the gardens of our souls. Thank you, Dennis.
I'm putting in a stone for Robert, who has sent me a message and asked me to report on his situation. He says, "Good morning. Would you please give my fellowship friends an update on my situation? I have workman's comp and the Cleveland Clinic emailing each other, so things are proceeding for the replacement knee surgery. If I don't get the surgery soon, we're coming back to Port Charlotte. We miss your fellowship. We will always miss our dear friend Sharon." That's Robert.
Hi, I'm Joseph. I drop a stone in memory of Sharon.
I'm going to move that over real quick. Why was over here to begin with? There we go. Okay. Get out the in front of the speaker, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, thank you. So Sharon, in my memory, will always be a person of literature. She was a professor of literature, taught at a college in Michigan. And literature professors are very special people. One of the most profound courses I took in college was the study of literature, where we went through Shakespeare's sonnets, deep dive into all the classics. And it's really, they're special people because they understand human nature. They understand the power of language to describe our condition. And sometimes words leave us when we're, trapped in our strong emotions, but the people who write literature have beautiful words to describe what's going on. And with Sharon, when she would give her sermons, she would do a deep dive into, let's say, she did one on mythology, which I found very interesting, very penetrating. She brought that scholarly mind to the topic, and she would unwrap it, and she would peel back each layer for you to understand its complexity and its beauty. And in her body, in her bones, she had the power and the love of language. And I will always be appreciative of the gifts that she shared with us, very unique and loving and beautiful, and her language will be missed.
This is in memory of Sharon. She was a dear friend and a teacher of mine, and a wonderful poetess, and I'll miss her greatly.
Hello, everybody. Some of you may notice that I was not here last week, and that's because my football team, the Predators, traveled to Daytona to play against the championships. The week before that, one of the opposing team's players died. His name was Tony. It did take some gravitational pull with me because he did play with us, the Predators, last season during the postseason, and he came up to a couple practices with us this year before committing to the Apes, which was the opposing team that we played against and lost against. What was so weird is the scoreboard at the end of the game was 6-8, which was his number, 68 on the Apes. So we do believe that he was there in spirit. It was incredibly weird. He got killed in a car accident with a semi. I did not know him that well, but it did affect me in some way. It still kind of does. You know, just if he would have not gotten that car, he would have been in that championship game 1 week later. So the stone is for Tony.
The final stone represents these joys and sorrows that remain unspoken, but are held in people's hearts. May we hold all these, one another, in love and tenderness, so that this fellowship continues to be a source of strength and comfort, courage and hope in the days ahead. Now, a moment of meditation. This morning's message is entitled Freedom in Several Forms, delivered by Reverend Ann.
Last week, I spoke at the UU Fellowship of Manatee County in Bradenton, and someone there made a very lovely platform for the podium, just the right size to get me up to the microphone, very wide and sturdy, and it had anti-skid on it. So if there's a woodworker with time on his or her hands, there's a project for you. When I went down the list of special observances for June in the Soul Matters packet, I found many dates referring to freedom. It might be edifying to look at a few in relationship to the spiritual practice of freedom. June 1 through 3 of this year is the Jewish celebration of Shavuot, occurring 50 days after the beginning of Passover. It is both a harvest feast and, more importantly, a commemoration of the law given to Moses at Mount Sinai. Remember, Passover marks the date when the Jews were set free from their enslavement in Egypt. They headed for the promised land. The laws that they were given are found in the Hebrew books of Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, and include 613 laws relating to moral, social, and purity issues. They also contain specifications for feasts, sacrifices and offerings, instructions for the priesthood, and also instructions regarding the tabernacle. The 10 Commandments that we're more familiar with are found in both Exodus and Deuteronomy. They are part of the law, along with the other laws. That's a lot of law for one small group in the Levant thousands of years ago. Rabbinic teaching is that the laws, the 613, apply only to Jews. They are bound by these laws. But all of humanity is bound to the 7 laws of Noah that include prohibitions against worshiping idols, cursing God, murder, adultery, sexual immorality, theft, this one kind of gets me, eating flesh torn from a living animal. I know all the folks who don't eat meat are probably just... And it establishes the idea that every culture should have courts of justice. What does all this have to do with freedom? In Judaism, freedom is intricately linked to the concept of fulfilling one's obligations as laid out in the commandments received at Sinai. True freedom is achieved through engaging with God, studying Torah, and fulfilling the covenantal responsibilities that come with that relationship with God. One night of Shavuot is traditionally spent studying Torah all night long. This involves a sense of responsibility and connectedness to others, often explained as tikkun olam, repair of the world. I think most religions somehow intuitively or by observing what's happening realized that something in our world is not quite right, that there's something broken and it needs to be repaired. And each religion has a different way of approaching that need for repair. But Jews feel a very special responsibility, and their code of laws has undergirded many codes of laws in many countries. Now think about it. What values or principles can contribute to the repair of the world? How would you like to spend one whole night studying those principles, our traditions from which we gather our ways of being in community? Can we contribute to the repair of the world? I had never heard of Juneteenth until a few years ago, though it has been celebrated in Texas for decades. It's a giant social gathering, including the reading of the Emancipation Proclamation, games, dancing, and significant feasting. Every kind of potato salad you could imagine. But in thinking about Juneteenth, I realized I had a great deal to learn about the Civil War, those years when our country was torn apart. So let me read a significant paragraph from the proclamation that on the first day of January, in the year of our Lord 1863, all persons held as slaves within any state or designated part of a state, the people whereof shall then be in rebellion against the United States, shall then, henceforward, and forever be free. And the executive government of the United States, including the military and naval authority thereof, will recognize and maintain the freedom of such persons, and will do no act or acts to repress such persons or any of them in any effort they may make for their actual freedom. Another paragraph reads, this is Abraham Lincoln speaking, I hereby enjoin upon the people so declared to be free to abstain from all violence unless necessary self-defense. And I recommend to them that, in all cases when it is allowed, they labor faithfully for a reasonable wage. In other words, don't upset the apple cart if you can help it. Stay where you are, do what you've been doing, and hope for the best in terms of a salary and the exercise of human freedom. Notice it does not declare all persons who have been enslaved freedom, only in states or parts of states in rebellion against the government. Freedom only came for all enslaved persons in 1865. Our American history teachers never explained all this, lest we discover that not until 1865 were all enslaved persons emancipated. Nor did we study in any depth the extremely difficult and dangerous circumstances for African Americans following the war. There is so much more to do for minority groups to secure full inclusion in the American way, especially now, 160 years after the end of the Civil War. Crystal and I visited the McLeod Plantation historical site near Charlotte? Charleston. See, I need her to. It was a very sobering experience. Unlike some of the plantations that you can visit, this one tells you the story of the enslaved. They don't whitewash it. They don't talk about the cotillions with ladies in their huge skirts. They tell you how the slaves lived, how they labored in horrible conditions, how they were punished when they tried to express themselves, and how they died. And what was deeply disturbing to me was that the slave quarters in the back of the home of the owners, their dwellings had no running water, not even a pump. They had no electricity. They had only a small fireplace for heat, and their toileting facilities were a pit behind the houses. And people lived in those until the 1970s. That's kind of what I said. You're telling me that when I thought America was wealthy and wonderful and free, they were living like that? I couldn't imagine it, but it was true. I learned about the Gullah people who came from West Africa as a group of persons who knew how to grow rice. And so they were sent to islands along the coast of North and South Carolina, Georgia, and northern Florida. In Africa, they had experience growing this rice, and I'm wearing my little rice necklace from Charleston. They were free people. When they arrived here on the ships, they were enslaved. Nevertheless, this amazing group of people created their own culture, language, and unique crafts. They are renowned worldwide as sweetgrass basket weavers and cooks of their Gullah Geechee cuisine. These earrings don't necessarily go with my dress, but these tiny little pieces of sweetgrass were woven into earrings, bracelets, beautiful baskets, none of which I could afford. We bought just a couple very small ones. And there was a young man weaving with his mother in their stall in the Charleston market, and he took great pride in showing me the baskets he had woven, and they were beautiful. He will carry on that craft through his lifetime, and I'm hoping he passes on to his children. We need to study the minorities living in our culture who have unique gifts and talents to widen our perspective, to show us new and different ways of doing things, not to be stuck in just who we are and how we live, but to learn about others, and their food is extremely good. Now we come to Olympia Brown, of whom I have spoken before. She was a woman dedicated to the search for freedom on several fronts. Olympia was born in January of 1835 in Prairie Ronde Township in Michigan. Her parents, Leffia and Asa Brown, were farmers in what was then considered the frontier of America. Leffia raised her children in a household that regarded religion and education as very important. Olympia started her higher education after graduating from what we would call high school and teaching for a couple of years by attending Mount Holyoke, but found it was far too conservative for her. She transferred to Antioch College, where she excelled, especially in oratory, and occasionally she broke the rules that applied to women only. After graduating, she decided she wanted to be a Universalist minister. There was no role model for that. Women were not preachers in any denomination. So she applied to every seminary she thought might accept her. And finally, the Universalist Theological School at St. Lawrence College accepted her. Again, she excelled. She exceeded all expectations of a woman. She graduated and was ordained on June 24th, 1863, by the Universalist Church of America. She served congregations in New England and then in the West, in the prairie states. Beside the care of individual people and congregations, she joined the suffrage movement, traveling hundreds of miles by buggy in all kinds of weather to speak at rallies. She lived to do what many of the early suffragettes did not have the opportunity to do. She cast her ballot in the 1920 election. She was a pioneer in showing women ways to advocate for themselves, to become doctors, lawyers, journalists, scientists, many other professions that freed them to follow their passions. Now, I could go on and on, citing people who worked diligently to exercise freedom, to better their lives and the lives of others. Fear not, I won't do that. These examples should encourage us to find ways we can contribute to securing freedom in a still biased and divided world, both here in the United States and around the world. We probably need to begin with ourselves in finding even greater freedom in our own lives and model that for others. Then send that freedom in all directions until all people are free and self-actualized. May it be so.
The offering is a sacrament of the Free Church, supported by the generosity of all those who join us, members and friends. It is our privilege and responsibility to ensure the health and future of this fellowship. If you are here for the first time, you do not have to feel obligated to give. Your presence is your gift. Our ushers will pass the offering baskets. You may also mail checks to the office, drop them in our mailbox, or call the office to make other arrangements. The Venmo app may also be used. Use UUFCC offering if your offering is to be used for a purpose other than our operating fund, such as second helping, indicated on your check's memo line. Your generosity is always appreciated. The ushers will come forward now with their baskets. The offertory music is by Peter, Paul, and Mary, If I Had a Hammer. And if you want to participate, please rise and participate. That's all right, you don't have to write.
sing about the love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. Well, I've got a hammer and I've got a bell and I've got a song to sing all over this land. A bell of justice, it's the bell of freedom. It's a song about the love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land.
There's life of community now. There's information, a calendar on the back of the order of service, which points out various events that are going to be going on this week. We also have several other announcements that will be presented now. Shelley will speak about finances.
Good morning. I hope everybody's doing well, and I do want to say I'm very sorry about Sharon. And we did know each other for a couple of years, and she would be up here probably writing a poem about this. I want you to see the line that has not moved for 2, 3, 4 weeks on our pledges. And if we want to do the things we say we want to do, we need to put our money behind it and our time and effort behind it as well. I wish she had been alive so I could have her write a poem. And she would have just done it so eloquently, and we all would have just opened up our pocketbooks. I'm asking you to do the same in honor of her, and I'm asking you to do the same in honor of this congregation and all that we represent. Thank you.
Laura Learman also has an announcement to make.
Hello. A little longer than hers, I'm afraid. This week was the last day of the school for the Florida students. And at the end of every year, when I taught third grade, I asked students to write a reassuring letter to the upcoming second graders who were terrified of being in third grade, because that was the big leagues. In a primary playground, there's nobody bigger than third graders. Anyway, so my graduating third graders were supposed to give suggestions on how to be free of worry when they come to third grade. As you can imagine, the hints were dear and were actually kind of a hoot. But one boy, for example, said that to not worry about the chairs being so much bigger because they would grow bigger and their feet would be able to reach the floor. But most of the kids said things like, try your best, keep trying, you'll be fine, don't worry. The marionette mannequin in the back, which is what I'm getting to, represents the strings that keep us from being free. Free from disappointments, fear, bad habits, our personalities, pain, our past, our aging. The list of challenges is endless. At this point in our lives, we have mastered, beaten, and endured many of the challenges, and actually gained a little bit of wisdom along the way. Many of us have sayings or mantras that have helped us, just like my third graders. And no, I'm not going to ask the 80-year-olds here to write letters to our 60-year-olds. We all have a mixed bag of challenges behind us and ahead of us. The card in your hand that I gave you as you walked in, if you don't have one, I'll get one to you, is a place to write a very short mantra or whatever helped you get through a tough time and helped you feel free. I'm looking for sayings like you'd find on a poster, not chapters you'd find in a book. If Robert were here, you know what he would write. Don't take anything personally. I was told that those third grade letters brought comfort and courage to the future third graders. I'm hoping that you here can do the same for all of us with your reassuring sayings. I will be typing them up and putting them on these cut strings for all to see. It's up to you to put your name on it or not, and I'll collect them as you leave. So thank you for your patience.
Very good. Laurie D. gave me a list to read. She's not going to do it for her by herself. For those interested in learning more about the Unitarian Universalism and the fellowship, there will be a gathering on Wednesday, June 4th at 1:15 p.m. following the social brown bag lunch. Please pre-register by Monday, the 2nd, which is tomorrow, with the office or contact Laurie D. Apparently, Reverend Ann is going to be on vacation, but anyway, the women's group will meet this week on Tuesday at 2 p.m. The closing words. We, the people, recognize that we have responsibilities as well as rights, that our destinies are bound together, that a freedom which only asks, what's in it for me, a freedom without a commitment to others, is without love or charity or duty or patriotism, is unworthy of our founding ideals and those who died in their defense. That's written by Barack Obama. Now we will have the extinguishing of the chalice by Arlene. And please read with me the statement that's in the order of service. We extinguish this chalice, but not the light of hope, the fire of commitment, or the warmth of community. May these ideals shine in our lives and warm our hearts until we are together again. Go now in peace. The closing hymn is in the Teal hymnal, number 1030, We Are Marching.
We are marching in the light of God. We are marching.
we are walking in the light of God. Go now in peace and enjoy the coffee and the refreshments.